Coming out to the track for tonight's second race. Number 1, Born Brilliant. It's owned by Justin Klein and Jacqueline Hayes, trained by Taylor McKean. Kurt Sugg at the controls. Elson Miller owns, trains, and drives the 2, Fear the Lou. Number 3, Looking at Bikinis, owned by Clark, Thompson, Phillips, and Arledge, trained by Renee Loney, Ryan Stahl in the bike. 4, Real Storm, owned by Richard Knoll, trained by Corinne Fliz, using Ronnie Wren Jr. 5, Two Birds, One Stone, owned and trained by Carl Putnam Jr., Billy Davis Jr. will sit behind. 6, Marriage on the Rocks, owned by Lucinda Belcher, trained by Herman Hagerman, using Greg Grismore. And the 7, VH Volt, is owned and trained by Betty Clegg with Nick Clegg in tow. Exacta Trifecta started the $1 Pick 4. Race 2, named after the Air Force. Back in race 1, top selection number 9, Print Media checks in third there at 7-1 as I'm a Scolger and Beach Forecast. They threw down the entire race. We're only separated by about a head there at the finish as I'm a Scolger goes wire to wire. As we flip to race number 2, Gold Chief Bob and I slightly different. I took a shot with the 4, Real Storm, trying to beat the big favorite here, the 2, Fear the Lou. Real Storm does draw worse of the 2. Finished second, beaten a length and a quarter by Fear the Lou last time. Now maybe they both were roughed up a little bit. They were going quick over to that opening quarter, 27-2. Real Storm gets Ronnie Wren back in the bike. Second time that he'll pilot. I'll take a chance here. He should be a much better price than the 2, Fear the Lou, who I do put second here. But this is a horse that's been 1-9 the last 2 weeks. So just thought that at 1-9, maybe the 4 at something like 3 or 4-1 could beat him. So I got him on top. I flipped those 2 around. And for third, throwing in the 5, Two Birds, One Stone. Comes into Northfield here. 10 for 11 this season. Been racing in some fair events. Now gets post 5 here in the series. I'll use third. 4-2-5-6 for me. Gold Chief Bob 2-5-4-7. Best of luck here, race number 2. Starter call for race number 2. A field of 7 pacers going behind the gate for the Gridiron Series, third leg, first division. On gate. Off and pacing, there goes Real Storm. He'll leave down the center with Fear the Lou toward the inside. Born Brilliant will come out in the third spot as they head for the first turn. Fear the Lou and Real Storm battling it out early on with Born Brilliant coming out in third. Looking at Bikinis, will get away racing fourth. Two Birds, One Stone is racing in fifth. Marriage on the Rocks second last has one beaten. That's VH Volt, who's 9 lengths off front stepping Fear the Lou at 1-5. They chase Fear the Lou up the backstretch for the first time. Real Storm is glued to Elson Miller's helmet from second. The opening quarter's up in 27-3. Born Brilliant 3 off the top duo while racing in third. Looking at Bikinis in line from fourth. Then comes Two Birds, One Stone, who's ahead of Marriage on the Rocks, and VH Volt content to trail early. Single file, no movement, coming to the halfway point with Fear the Lou on top. A lot of hopes in his hooves as he looks for back-to-back in the series. In front of Real Storm was racing second. Born Brilliant third, still 3 off the top. Looking at Bikinis, coming to the outside from fourth. He'll be first up. Two Birds, One Stone will follow him into the outer flow. Then Marriage on the Rocks and VH Volt halfway home, 58-2. So 30-4 in that second panel. So Fear the Lou caught a big breather there with Real Storm giving chase. Born Brilliant at the pylons in third. Looking at Bikinis, first over journey just stalled for the moment. He's still got 4 or 5 to pick up. Might drop back inside. Outside for Two Birds, One Stone. Then VH Volt and Marriage on the Rocks is now last. They travel across the backstretch. And Fear the Lou, Elson Miller asking him to finish the job and quicken the tempo, and he opens up a length and a half on Real Storm as they're at 3/4 now in 1:26-3. They leave the backstretch and move on to the far turn. Fear the Lou on top. Real Storm's been glued to him from second. He's a length and a quarter behind. Then comes Born Brilliant. 3 wide in the courses. Two Birds, One Stone racing outside of Looking at Bikinis. At the pylons, VH Volt, less than an eighth of a mile to go. And Fear the Lou's off the turn in front. Real Storm off the 2-hole trip. It's Fear the Lou or Real Storm. It's Fear the Lou. Back-to-back scores. Fear the Lou by 3 widening lengths. Real Storm was second, then Born Brilliant third, 154-2. Jared here works at MGM. Also on the backstretch from our horseman's side, Josh Conger. So we thank everyone for their service in the Air Force, as well as all of our veteran branches that we honor tonight. Back to the winner's circle is the 2, Fear the Lou. Owned, trained, and driven to victory by Elson Miller. 3-year-old bay gelding by Fear the Dragon out of Jetta Blue Chip by American Ideal picks up his 12th lifetime win, 9th this season, and back-to-back in the Gridiron Series for Fear the Lou in 154 and 2. The results are posted 2, 4, 1, and 7. Two four exacta, $5. 241 trifecta, $91.60. The early double, 1 and 2, $4.40. Here's the rundown from race 2. Born Brilliant was 3rd, Fear the Lou the winner. Looking at Bikinis, 7th, Real Storm 2nd, 2 Birds, 1 Stone 5th, Marriage on the Rocks 6th, VH Volt 4th, 317, 2564 on the bottom. Circle the 2, Fear the Lou. Over to race number 3, Exacta Trifecta, 20-cent Superfecta wagering. Hunter Myers on the 2, Prince of Tides. 4 minutes. Race number 3 here tonight from MGM Northfield Park, named for the Army, the oldest and most senior branch of the U.S. military. The modern U.S. Army has its roots in the Continental Army, which was formed on June 14, 1775, to fight the American Revolutionary War against the British for independence before the U.S. was established as a country. After the war, the Congress of the Confederation created the United States Army on June 3, 1784, to replace the disbanded Continental Army. The United States Army considers itself a continuation of the Continental Army and thus considers its institutional inception to be the origin of that armed force in 1775. The Army mission is unchanged: deploy, fight, and win our nation's wars by providing ready, prompt, and sustained land dominance by Army forces across the full spectrum of conflict as part of the joint force. Tonight we honor those who have served in the U.S. Army here for race 3. The Army's 5 core competencies are prompt and sustained land combat combined arms operations, special ops forces to set and sustain the theater for the joint force and to integrate national, multinational, and joint power on land. The motto, this will defend. Race 3, named for the Army. Once again, anyone that's on track here, if you served in the Army and would like to go in the winner's circle after the race to take a picture with the winning horse, head down to the security that's standing at the winner's circle entrance. Race 3 coming up, 2 minutes. Pacers for tonight's third race. Stepping up onto the track, there's Exacta Trifecta, 20-cent Superfecta wagering. Number 1 is South Point, owned by the Burke Racing Stable. Weaver Buscemi, Carr, and Colora, trained by Ron Burke, Ronnie Wren Jr. pilots. The 2 Prince of Tides, Hunter Myers aboard for trainer Randy Bendis, who co-owns with the Pollock Racing. 3 is Magic Shark, owned by Gary Wilmoth, trained by Becky Zubkoff, using Drew Neal. Jessica Milner owns the 4 Joel Z. Hanover with Andrew Koblenz. She also trains. Kurt Sugg will drive. 5 Record Machine is owned by the Scalacci Stables and Sam Bova Racing, trained by Jody Scalacci, teaming up with Chris Lems. 6 Westside Steve, owned by the Umholtz Racing Stable and Kennedy Sports, trained by Claire Umholtz. Billy Davis Jr. will catch drive. 7 Ranger Alert, Luke Ebersol, drives for trainer Jeff Ebersol and owner Linda Ebersol. And Linny Called Frankie is owned and trained by Greg Cook. Ryan Stahl drives. He's the 8. Back in race number 2, took a slight chance there against the big 1-5 favorite Fear the Lou. Lived up to that promise. Back-to-back winning efforts in the Gridiron Series as Real Storm, our top choice, checks in second. As we'll flip to the third, where I land on the 2 Prince of Tides. Now gets the services here of Hunter Myers. This is a horse that had raced in the Open a couple months ago here at Northfield. Has been dropping down the class rankings, bouncing back between Northfield and the Meadows. Didn't get the job done at the Meadows last time. It now wins $5,800 at a short price, but comes back to Northfield here with a good post. Picks up Hunter Myers here tonight. I'll use Prince of Tides. We'll see if he can get back to his best from earlier in the season, which I think would be good enough to get the job done here against the short price favorite. That's the 1 South Point, who was an impressive wire-to-wire winner last time, 27-4 last quarter, 52-4 time for the mile, and now gets the rail here for Ron Burke and Ronnie Wren. I would expect this guy to be firing out of there pretty quickly. Ronnie Wren might try and take him all the way, and for third I threw in the 4 Joel Z. Hanover. Might be facing a little bit tougher field than he faced last time, but raced well. Came home in 28-2 off a little bit of a tough journey. Was still 8th, turning for home. Ended up 4th. I had it 2-1-4-8. Gold Sheep Bob 1-2-4-8. Best of luck here in race number 3. Pacers for the third race work their way behind the starting car. Here they come. They're off. They're pacing Prince of Tides and South Point. These two leave together from the inside with Magic Shark and Joel Z. Hanover lining up behind them into the first turn. South Point tries to cut the corner up into the front, and Ronnie Wren's got him on the engine now as Prince of Tides will drop into that second spot in front of Magic Shark third. Joel Z. Hanover comes out racing fourth. Ranger Alert was able to leave and get around a couple. He gets around Record Machine, Westside Steve, and Linny called Frankie at the back. So they travel up the backstretch chasing the big South Point. 1-5 on the board. He leads it by 2 at the opening quarter in 27 and 4. Prince of Tides pockets up behind him here. Magic Shark racing in third. Joel Z. Hanover trying to tighten in from fourth, about 4.5 off the top. In front of Ranger Alert, who's racing in fifth. Record Machine is sixth as they tap on the brakes with Westside Steve seventh. And Linny, called Frankie, would have to pass them all. It's South Point on top here by a length and a quarter. Prince of Tides continues this pocket ride. Cozy two-hole trip behind the big favorite with Magic Shark racing in third in front of Joel Z. Hanover from fourth. They're halfway home in 57 seconds. Ranger Alert is fifth. Record Machine now being passed by Linny, called Frankie, and Westside Steve was shuffled to eighth. South Point on top here, trying to make every pole a winning one. He leads it still by a length and a quarter. Prince of Tides. Now Joel Z. Hanover was flushed off the rail by Ranger Alert, who's second up behind Joel Z. Hanover. At the pylons is Magic Shark, then Linny, called Frankie, out of Record Machine, and Westside Steve as South Point still has a length and a half advantage on Prince of Tides. Joel Z. Hanover out there first over, racing third with 3 to pick up. 3/4, 125 and 1. Into the far turn they move. South Point still on top by 2 and cruise control. South Point just widening away from Prince of Tides. At the pylons, Magic Shark, then Joel Z. Hanover. There's an eighth of a mile left to pace, and South Point to catch. He turns for home with a 3-length lead. Prince of Tides, then Magic Shark. Forget about it. It's South Point in deep stretch. South Point, Ronnie Wren never moved a muscle. Prince of Tides second, Magic Shark third, Joel Z. Hanover fourth, 152 and 4. Judges post 1, 2, 3, 4 on the board and unofficial. Race number 3 here from MGM Northfield Park. Our Veterans Day program continues as we honor the Army here for race 3. Several horsemen here at Northfield Park. Our Army veterans, Tammy Jo Chill, Skip White, Don McCurgan, Pat Beeler, Ken Rolko, Dave Fuchs, Jackie Hayes, and Jim Joyner. And back to the winner's circle is the one South Point. He's owned by the Burke Racing Stable, Weaver Buscemi, Carr, and Colora, trained by Ron Burke and driven to victory by Ronnie Wren Jr. 3-year-old Bay Gelding was bred in Pennsylvania by Sweet Lou out of Ava, Hanover by Some Beach Somewhere. 6 lifetime wins, 6 this season. Back-to-back scores. Wire to wire, 152 and 4, and the results are official. Exacta $3.40. Trifecta $13.60. The 20-cent super $2.84. Here's the complete order of finish. South Point the winner. Prince of Tide second. Magic Shark third. Josie Hanover fourth. Record Machine eighth. Westside Steve seventh. Ranger Alert fifth. Lenny Called Frankie was sixth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 7, 5, 6 on the bottom. Circle the one. South Point 152 and 4. Fourth race Pacers are next. Exact the trifecta. 20-cent superfecta. $1 pick 3. Mark Hedworth on the 8. Tixa Yankin. Post time 6 minutes. Tonight's fourth race here from MGM Northfield Park, named for the Coast Guard. The Coast Guard traces its roots to the small fleet of vessels maintained by the United States Department of the Treasury, beginning in the 1790s to enforce. Secretary of Treasury Alexander Hamilton lobbied Congress to fund the construction of 10 cutters, which it did do on August 4th, 1790, which is now celebrated as the Coast Guard's official birthday. The service now is conducted as a maritime military multi-mission service, unique among the United States military branches for having a maritime law enforcement mission with jurisdiction in both domestic and international waters, and a federal regulatory agency mission as part of its duties. The mission of the U.S. Coast Guard is to ensure our nation's maritime safety, security, and stewardship. Its roles include search and rescue, port, waterway, and coastal security, drug interdiction and migrant interdiction, protection of living marine resources, marine environmental protection, ice ops, marine safety, and aids to navigation and defense readiness. Tonight we honor those who have served in the United States Coast Guard here for the fourth race. The motto, Semper Paratus, meaning always ready. 4 minutes to race 4. Pacers for the fourth race, working their way out to the track. Number 1 is Knee Deep in Custard, while the Pollock Racing and Jeffrey Culliper, trained by Randy Bendis, with the services of Eric Tharps Jr. 2 Commander Bob, owned by Kyle Larner, trained by Sean Mapes, Ryan Stahl between the wheels. 3 is Win Not Lou, owned by Marissa Russo, trained by David Russo, with the services of Ronnie Wren Jr. 4 Father Ted, owned by the Thunder Racing Stables, trained by Corey Kreiser, Billy Davis Jr., the regular linesman. Hunter Myers aboard the 5 One Last Laugh for the owners Scalacci Stables and Sam Bova Racing, Jody Scalacci Conditions. 6 JW's Chrome, owned by Melvin Fink, trained by Paul Holtzman, Drew Neal Intel. 7 Back in My Day, Don Sherman Pilots for Jessica Rogner, who co-owns with Rebecca Sugg. And the 8 Tixa Yankin is owned by Hedworth, Hale, Rube, and Connect, trained and driven by Mark Hedworth. Back in race number 3, top 2 selections flip around again as South Point from the rail goes wire to wire. Never really an anxious moment for the big favorite as he makes it 2 in a row. As we flip to the 4th, Gold Sheep Bob and I had this one similar. I land on the 5 One Last Laugh. He drops down to the open levels. Finished 2nd and 3rd his last 2 starts in the open. Now gets to drop to an overnight class of non-winners 8,000 and gets an okay post here for Hunter Myers. I'll put One Last Laugh on top. For second, going to the 6 JW's Chrome. Thought that he'd be a bit higher price. Right now he's 7-2 off a 7-1 morning line. This horse that won the non-winners 8,000 2 back, raced in the 30 claimer level last time. So sticking at the same class, finished 7th. Made a 3-wide move into Carolina Beach, who was a very nice horse out of the Mercury Barn earlier, just a couple weeks ago. So JW's Chrome, I'm going to give him a second chance here. Should be an okay price. I'll use him second. And for third, I went to the 4 Father Ted out of the Kreiser Barn. 5th last week, but before that, won the Open 2. Gets a good post here, has post edge over the 2 horses to his outside. I'll use him third. 5-6-4-1 for me, 6-5-4-7 for Gold Sheep Bob. Best of luck, race 4 coming up. Wings of the gate open for the fourth. They're on gate. They're off. They're pacing. One last laugh and Father Ted. These two fire out down the center, knee deep in custard. Down along the inside as they head for the first turn. Father Ted gets down to the pylons and crosses over in front of knee deep in custard as one last laugh will stay on the gas pedal. And Hunter Myers drives him to the top. So now one last laugh will take over as they hit the top of the backstretch. Father Ted comes out racing second. Knee deep in custard gets away racing third in front of Win Not Lou from fourth. Commander Bob mid pack tonight racing fifth in front of JW's Chrome from sixth. The two at the back are Back in My Day and takes a yanking in the opening quarter was an eye-catching 26-2. And one last lap with the plugs already out on top here, leading by a length and a half on Father Ted, who's racing in second, knee deep in custard, third and 3.5 off the top, in front of Win Not Lose racing in fourth. Then comes Commander Bob from fifth, JW's Chrome is sixth. Back in My Day is struggling back there in seventh. He's really gapped out, and takes a yanking is behind him. And knee deep in custard comes off the rail as they try to get to one last lap, who's halfway home in 54-4, 28-2. No breather for one last lap, who's just rolling along up front. Father Ted at the pylon second. Knee deep in custard is first up on the outside with Win Not Lou racing fourth. Commander Bob is fifth as JW's Chrome comes off the rail. The other two, Back in My Day and Tixie Yankin, have not been a factor. And one last lap did not handle that turn there. So now Father Ted shoots through at the inside. One last lap. These two sprint over to three quarters together. One last lap. Back on top though as they hit three quarters. 122-4. Into the far turn they move. One last lap trying to make this corner. Father Ted at the pylons. JW's Chrome from the back of the pack coming alive. Three wide in a Northfield Park scramble. Coming to the top of the stretch. Father Ted at the pylons. One last lap. JW's Chrome three wide. Commander Bob starts to hit his best stride. They straighten away for the drive. Father Ted one last lap trying to hang in there. JW's Chrome. Commander Bob's hunting racetrack. It's one last lap. Father Ted and JW's Chrome. Three noses across the track. One last lap in 152-3. Judges post 5, one last lap first. 4 Father Ted second, 6 JW's Chrome third, and 2 Commander Bob fourth. 5-4, 6-2 on the board and unofficial. Coming back to the winner's circle, number 5, one last laugh. Some anxious moments there at 1-5, but ends up getting the job done here. Owned by the Scalacci Stables and Sam Bova Racing, trained by Jody Scalacci, training double, and driven to victory by Hunter Myers. Bred in New York by the Blue Chip Bloodstock. 6-year-old bay gelding by McArdle out of Fancy Creek Funny by Sportsmaster. 24th lifetime win, 4th this season, 152-3. Official. Exacta $6.80. Trifecta $23.60. And the 20-cent super $14.94. Here's the complete order of finish. Knee Deep in Custard 5th, Commander Bob 4th, Win Not Lose 7th, Father Ted 2nd, One Last Laugh the winner. JW's Chrome 3rd, Back in My Day 6th, and Tixie Yank in 8th. 547, 213, 68 on the bottom. Circle the 5, One Last Laugh. 5th race Pacers are next. Exacta Trifecta, 20-cent Superfecta. Scratch the 1, Rose Raniana, and the 2, Gracious Lady. Ronnie Wren Jr. on the 7, Madam Mercury. 7 minutes. This upcoming 5th race from MGM Northfield Park, named for the Marines. The history of the Marine Corps began when 2 battalions of Continental Marines were formed on November 10th, 1775 in Philadelphia as a service branch of infantry troops capable of fighting both at sea and on shore. In the Pacific theater of World War II, the Corps took the lead in a massive campaign of amphibious warfare, advancing from island to island. The Marines' mission is to fight through anything, with everything, with honor, with each other, and without fail. Primary responsibilities of the United States Marine Corps are conducting expeditionary and amphibious operations through combined arms, implementing its own infantry, artillery, aerial, and special ops forces. Tonight we honor those who've served in the United States Marine Corps here in Race 5. Motto, Semper Fi. On the track for tonight's fifth race, scratch the 1, scratch the 2. Number 3 is Odds On Omaha, owned, trained, and driven by Angus Lake. The 4 is Gray Lingerie, owned by the Thunder Racing Stables and Melissa Lawyer, trained by Corey Kreiser using Billy Davis Jr. 5, Somewhere Dancin', owned by Julie Kronitsky, trained by Robert Kronitsky Jr. They team up with Eric Tharps Jr. 6, Honeymoon Trail, owned by Stephen Wright and owner-trainer Gary Johnston, Sean Johnston between the wheels. The 7 is Madam Mercury, Ronnie Wren Jr. catch drives trainer D. Houghton, who co-owns with Mark Walker. The 8, Nacho Mama, owned by the Dustin Ford Racing, trained by Ryan Deaton, using Elliott Deaton. And the 9 is Make More Happen, owned and trained by Danny Hostetler, Kurt Sugg, Will Pilot. There's Exacta Trifecta, 20-cent Superfecta wagering. Race number 5, Filly and Mare Pacers, coming up. Back in race number 4. Anxious moments there for the 5-1 last lap, who just didn't handle that third turn, but ended up prevailing anyways after a tough half. So much the best performance there from one last lap who got the job done. As we flip over to race number 5. Try to make it 2 in a row. Maybe a little bit better price here with a 7. Madam Mercury, Ronnie Wren Jr. picks up the drive here. This is a horse that's making her second start off about a 4-month break as an 8-year-old. So she debuted this season as an 8-year-old, making her 8th lifetime start here tonight. But second off that 4-month break, I'll see if Madam Mercury can improve here. And with the 2 scratches to the inside, that helps everybody's post draw here. So I'll put Madam Mercury on top. For second, going to the 5, Somewhere Dancin'. Thought that this was a field that's maybe a little bit softer than the last couple she's faced, especially with the smaller field size here with the couple scratches, and she gets a good post here tonight. So I'm using Somewhere Dancin' second. She did finish second 3 starts ago at this level. And for third one to the 8, Nacho Mama. Other than post 8, she looks pretty good on paper here. Now with the 2 scratches, that helps her post. I'll use her at a good price. 7-5-8-9 for me. Goldshee Bob 9-7-4-3. Best of luck, race 5. Wide open Filly and Mare Pace event coming up. Horses go behind the gate for the 5th. Wings of the gate open for the 5th. Here they come. They're off. They're pacing. There goes Gray Lingerie, leaving with Madame Mercury. Somewhere Dancing is between them as they're 3 across the track into that first turn. 3 wide. Madame Mercury driving forward for Ronnie Wren. Somewhere Dancing between rivals. Gray Lingerie tries to cut the corner. Madame Mercury hung out to dry 3 deep. Odds in Omaha racing up to be 4th. Make More Happen from the second tier. Gets away racing in 5th in front of Honeymoon Trail. And Nacho Mama is the back marker. And Madame Mercury working hard, but she works her way to the front. Gray Lingerie back on the gas pedal out of 3rd and driving after the leaders here. With Somewhere Dancing 3rd, the opening quarter in 28 seconds. Gray Lingerie is now 3 wide into the far turn for the first time. And now Gray Lingerie at 5-2 will take over from Madame Mercury, who's racing in 2nd. Somewhere Dancing is 3rd, and 4 off the top, 3 clear of Odds on Omaha racing in 4th. And was Make More Happen. Race favorite at 6-5 is racing in 5th at the moment and about 6 or 7 lengths off the leader. Then comes Honeymoon Trail. Nacho Mama last. It's Gray Lingerie on the engine here, coming to the halfway point in 57-1. So 29-1 in that second panel as Madame Mercury's gapping the pocket and fully extended by Ronnie Wren as Somewhere Dancing is the first one to move. Was flushed out by Make More Happen, who's second up. Odds on Omaha's locked in at the pylons. Third up is Honeymoon Trail, and Nacho Mama is the trailer as they chase Gray Lingerie to the backstretch, and she's still on top by 2.5 lengths, but Somewhere Dancing is cutting into that margin. Make More Happen is moving up to be 3rd. Madame Mercury 4th. Odds on Omaha's caught in a bad shuffle as now Make More Happen shoots 3 wide as they try to get to Gray Lingerie in 1:27, and here comes Make More Happen, who just slingshots to the front. Make More Happen starting an inch away from Somewhere Dancing. Gray Lingerie at the pylons. 3 wide on the course is Honeymoon Trail, but she's pacing home well with Nacho Mama, then Odds on Omaha. As they come to the top of the stretch, Make More Happen off the turn in front by 3, by 4, by 5, and Make More Happen is long gone here in deep stretch. The battle's for second between Honeymoon Trail and Nacho Mama. Make More Happen impressive in victory. Honeymoon Trail second, then Nacho Mama 157-1. Nine, 6, 8, 4 on the board and unofficial. In the winner's circle, the 9, Make More Happen, owned and trained by Danny Hosteller. Driven victory by Kurt Sudd. Bred in Ontario, Canada by the Robert McIntosh Stables. 7-year-old bay mare by Better Than Cheddar. Out of Good Things Happen by the Pandarosa. In the winner's circle, one of our horsemen here, Matthew Kuva. Also, Mark Sundstrom and Greg Bartlett, our horsemen that represent the Marines here for tonight's 5th race. The results are official. The exacta $153.20. Trifecta $698.80. The pick four $6.30. 20-cent super $836.16. Fifth race rundown. Scratch the 1, scratch the 2. Odds on Omaha 6th, Gray Lingerie 4th, Somewhere Dancing was 5th. Honeymoon Trail 2nd, Madame Mercury 7th, Nacho Mama 3rd, Make More Happen the winner. Scratch, scratch 6, 4, 5, 2, 7, 3, 1 on the bottom. Circle the 9, Make More Happen 157 and 1. Flip over to the 6th race. Exacta trifecta start of the $1 pick 5. It's the Gridiron Series 2nd division tonight. Scratch the 5, Stabler. Post time 5 minutes. Tonight's 6th race from MGM Northfield Park, named for the Navy, which was created by Congress in April 1798. The Department of the Navy has its earliest roots in the Continental Navy, formed in 1775 by General George Washington to defend the American colonies from British attack. It is the largest and most powerful navy in the world, with the estimated tonnage of its active battle fleet alone exceeding the next 13 navies combined, including 11 allies or partner nations of the United States as of 2009. The mission of the Navy is to maintain, train, and equip combat-ready naval forces capable of winning wars, deterring aggression, and maintaining freedom of the seas. The United States is a maritime nation, and the U.S. Navy protects America at sea. Alongside its allies and partners, they defend freedom, preserve economic prosperity, and keep the seas open and free. Tonight we honor all those who've served in the United States Navy here in race number 6. The United States Navy technically does not have an official motto, and there are even disagreements over what its unofficial motto might be. Some sources claim the unofficial motto is Latin, standing for not self, but country. 2 minutes. On the track for the sixth race, Exacta Trifecta, $1 pick 5 wagering. It's the second division tonight, the Gridiron Series. You can scratch the 5 Stabler. Number 1 is Haste Make Waste, owned by Kyle Larner, trained by Sean Mapes, Drew Neal between the wheels. The 2, Tegan Yellow, owned by the Burke Racing Stable and Weaver Buscemi, trained by Ron Burke, Ronnie Wren Jr., the pilot. 3, Sweet and Fearless, owned by Keith Brown, trained by Carl Cocheleone, Anthony McDonald in the sulky. The 4 is Tennessee Smooth, owned by the Brett Boyd Racing, Howells and Howells, trained by Brett Boyd. Justin Irvine will drive. Take out the 5. 6, Master Confection, owned by the Umholtz Racing Stable, Umholtz and Kennedy Sports, trained by Claire Umholtz, Billy Davis Jr. at the lines. And Eric Tharps Jr., the regular linesman for the 7, Cleveland Big J, trained by Jessica Milner, who co-owns with the Pod Stable. Back in race 5, our top choice. Wasn't her evening tonight. She ends up finishing 7th, but Make More Happen, making just her 3rd lifetime start as a 7-year-old, gets the job done for Kurt Sugg as the race favorite as we flip over to the 6th. Gold Sheep Bob and I both agree with the 2, Tegan Yellow. Made his first start here for the Ron Burke barn after about a 3.5, 4-week break. Came down from Woodbine Mohawk Park. Comes here to Northfield, finished 3rd. Was roughed up 27-1 at the quarter from post 7. Made the front. Got caught late, finished 3rd, but now 2nd start in the Ron Burke barn. And gets Ronnie Wren Jr. here with a good post. Tegan Yellow has every bit the reason to take a step forward off of that performance. I'm looking for him to make the front here and work out a pretty good trip for 2nd using the 3. Sweet and Fearless, back-to-back winner here in the Gridiron Series. Gets Anthony McDonald back at the controls. Has been a short price in both events. Gets a good post here, so Sweet and Fearless, definitely the one to beat here in my eyes. I got him 2nd. And for 3rd, throwing in the 4, Tennessee Smooth. 2, 3, 4, 7 for me. 2, 3, 4, 6 for Gold Sheep Bob. Best of luck, race 6. Gate opens for the 6th. They're on gate. They're off. They're pacing Tennessee Smooth, Sweet and Fearless, and Tegan Yellow. All three will leave together as they head for the first turn. Tegan Yellow cuts the corner up into the front. Sweet and Fearless now second. Tennessee Smooth trying to take back. Racing outside of Haste Make Waste, and Haste Make Waste will slide up to be third. So Tennessee Smooth left early, but winds up in fourth in front of Master Confection. And Cleveland Big J from the high draw is last. The six-pack of Pacers travel across the Northfield Park backstretch for the first time with Tegan Yellow on top here. Past the opening quarter in 27-1. Sweet and Fearless in a bid for the three-peat, racing in second, and these two have separated themselves from Haste Make Waste, who's left 5 lengths behind from third, trying to tighten in ahead of Tennessee Smooth. Then comes Master Confection, who's got one beaten. That's Cleveland Big J, who's the caboose of the field, about 9 lengths off front-stepping Tegan Yellow. Tegan Yellow on top here, now by 2. Sweet and Fearless continues the track from the pocket spot. Haste Make Waste, a very loose third. Tennessee Smooth is fourth. Master Confection stayed in from fifth as Cleveland Big J went around him and now moves up one spot from last. 56-1, the time for the half mile, 29 in that second panel. And Tegan Yellow is the target and starting to separate himself from Sweet and Fearless, who's left 3, now 4 lengths behind with 3/8 left to pace. Gap of 5 to Haste Make Waste, then Cleveland Big J, Tennessee Smooth, and Master Confection at the midpoint of the backstretch. It's been all Tegan Yellow, still on top by 2. Sweet and Fearless second. 4 back to Cleveland Big J, who's rallied up to be third. 1:23-4 was a 27-3 third panel for Tegan Yellow, who takes the field into the far turn. Sweet and Fearless trying to keep up from second. Cleveland Big J taking third outside of Haste Make Waste fourth, then Master Confection and Tennessee Smooth. Less than 1/8 of a mile to go, and Tegan Yellow hit the top of the stretch with a 4-length lead. Sweet and Fearless, then Cleveland Big J and Haste Make Waste in deep stretch. Tegan Yellow, Ronnie Wren, Ron Burke team up for a double. Sweet and Fearless was second. Good battle for third. 3 across the track, maybe Master Confection. 153-3. Into the winner's circle, the 2, Tegan Yellow, owned by the Burke Racing Stable and Weaver Buscemi, trained by Ron Burke, driven to victory by Ronnie Wren Jr. That's a Burke and a Wren double. Bred in Quebec, Canada, by the Hudson Standardbred Stables. 3-year-old bay gelding by All Bets Off out of the Some Beach Somewhere mare Party Beach. 3rd lifetime win, 2nd this season. Tegan Yellow, 153, and 3 is a lifetime best. Exacta $8.80. The trifecta $56. Pick 3 $17.10. Here's the rundown from the 6th. Haste Make Waste was 5th. Tegan Yellow the winner. Sweet and Fearless 2nd. Tennessee Smooth 6th. Scratch Stabler. Master Confection 3rd. Cleveland Big J 4th. 5-1-2, 6 Scratch 3-4 on the bottom. Circle of 2 Tegan Yellow in 153 and 3. 7th race Pacers are next. There's Exacta Trifecta, 20 cents Superfecta. Scratch the 2 Lido Hanover. Put Mark Hedworth on the 5. Post time 5 minutes. Pacers for tonight's 7th race. Coming out to the track, there's Exacta Trifecta and 20-cent Superfecta wagering. Number 1, How Max Blackjack is owned by the Power Play Racing 87, trained and driven by James Day. Scratch Lido Hanover. 3, Shanghai Bobby, owned by the Racing to Win stable, trained by Jordan Hope. Chris Lem's the regular linesman. 4, Zenda Ballygiel, owned and trained by Jacob Fox. Ronnie Wren Jr. picks up the drive. 5, Island Jet, owned by River Rube and owner-trainer Mark Hedworth, who will also drive. The 6 is Vintage Grand. Keith Cash Jr. trains and drives for owner Joseph Boza. 7, Aces Rock. Greg Grismore aboard for trainer Herman Hagerman and owner Anthony Miller. The 8's TSM Tristan T, owned by Theodore Thompson, trained by Robert Kronitsky Jr. Billy Davis Jr. drives. And the 9 is Why Ask Why, owned by Marissa Russo, trained by David Russo using Hunter Myers. Back in the 6th race, top selection was the 2, Tegan Yellow. Second start in the Ron Burke barn. Much improved effort tonight as Ronnie Wren and Ron Burke team up for a second win as we go to the 7th. I land on the 4, Zen de Ballykiel. Ronnie Wren Jr. driving here. Gets some post relief. Got post 8 at the Meadows in that non-winners of 1750 event. First start here at Northfield of late. Has raced okay this season in a field that didn't have a strong opinion on. Took the 4, Zen de Ballykiel as Ronnie Wren looks for his third. For second, I went to the 1, How Max Blackjack. Drops from non-winners 2,500 back to non-winners 1,500 the last 2 times he's been this low. Third and second, and now he gets the rail. I'll use him second. And for third, the 3, Shanghai Bobby. Made the front in 27-2 last week. Ended up finishing second at 2-1 with a scratch to his inside. That helps his post tonight. Probably the deserving favorite here. 4-1-3-5 for me. 3-1-4-5 for Gold Chi Bob. Best of luck, race number 7. Gate opens for the 7th. Here they come. Off and pacing, there goes Shanghai Bobby. Fires out for Chris Lems. Hal Max Blackjack down at the pylons with Zenda Balikil, who floats down into the 3rd spot. And Why Ask Why from the 2nd tier will get away in 4th as they start to line them up here. Back to 5th and Island Jet in front of Vintage Grand. Then Aces Rock, who's 2nd last. And TSM Tristan T is the back marker. Shanghai Bobby on an uncontested lead here by 2.5 lengths on Hal Max Blackjack, who's racing in 2nd. Zenda Balikil, 3rd and 4 off the top. The opening quarter, 27 and 4. Why Ask Why is positioned mid-pack in front of Island Jet, then Vintage Grand, who's on his bumper. Out of Aces Rock and TSM Tristan T, trailing early on. No movement to the outside yet as Shanghai Bobby completes 3/8 of a mile. At even money, it's race favorite Shanghai Bobby on top. Hal Max Blackjack racing 2nd with Zenda Balikil from 3rd. Why Ask Why is racing 4th. Island Jet ready to move off the rail. That's going to flush out Why Ask Why as they come to the halfway point. Now Island Jet dips back in as Zenda Balikil comes to the outside. So the halfway home in 57 and 1. And Shanghai Bobby's on top. Hal Max Blackjack trying to stick with him from the pocket. Zenda Balikil's forced to move first over. Ronnie Wren has him 2 off the top. Why Ask Why following that move 2nd over to be 4th outside of Island Jet. Vintage Grand is under urging while gapping 6th. The outside and Aces Rock, then TSM Tristan T. They chase Shanghai Bobby, who's been the long-time leader, still leading by a length and a half, and Chris Lems in a hand drive as they're over at 3/4 and 125 and 4. He let it out in that 3rd panel, 28 and 3 for Shanghai Bobby, who takes the field into the far turn. Hal Max Blackjack is 2nd as Zenda Balikil's first over move stalled. So Why Ask Why's forced 3 wide around him, and he's pacing home well. Then Island Jet, 1/8 of a mile left to go, and Shanghai Bobby tries to seal the deal. Why Ask Why trying to rally with interest down the center, and here comes Why Ask Why to the outside of Shanghai Bobby. It's between these two with 50 yards to go. Shanghai Bobby, Why Ask Why, 2nd best to Shanghai Bobby. Hal Max Blackjack 3rd, Island Jet 4th, 155 and 4. $3,915 unofficial. In the winner's circle, the 3, Shanghai Bobby, owned by the Racing to Win stable, trained by Jordan Hope and driven to victory by Chris Lems. He picks up his 2nd win on the program. 7-year-old bay gelding by Art Major out of Surfside Sexy by Rock and Roll Hanover, bred in Pennsylvania by the Hanover Shoe Farms. 15th lifetime win and 4th this season, 155 and 4, and 3,915 is official. Exacta $17, trifecta $62.80, 20 cents super $28.66.